Hey traders, this is Rick at Hit and Run Candlesticks. How you doing today? This is Sunday, November 30th, 2025. I'm looking at some stocks for next week, and man, there are a lot of them in this market. They're all over the place. I've got 11 that I would like to share with you today that are on my watch list. If you watched my earlier video today of a few stocks that I'm holding, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Before we get started, I do want to mention our Black Friday sale is still going, at least for now, but it is limited, believe me. 2 months for the price of one, 6 months free when you buy an annual, and then we have our lifetime membership, which that one will be disappearing here shortly. Again, our Black Friday sale, very limited, next few days. All right. If you have questions about it, please feel free to contact me, rick@ricksadler.com. If you like this video, please leave me a thumbs up, leave comments. If you want to see something different on the videos, please do that. We might be able to incorporate it, okay? All right, let's kick it off. But first, I do want to look at the SPY and what I think about the overall market. And then we're going to look at those 11 charts that I've got on my watch list. And believe me, there are a lot of them, but we don't want to make a marathon of this video. Alrighty, let's get started. So, what a great day. Oh, yeah, what a great day. What a great week it's been. I also want to mention that the Road to Wealth account is working great. We have tripled the account. What is it, 10 months, I guess? 10 months, the account has tripled. We're heading for that quadruple. There is a chance that I get it done within the year. Remember, our goal was only to double it in a year. We've quadrupled it already, and we've tripled it already, and we're looking for that next level, that next little leg up. So I'll keep everybody posted, okay? All right, let's get started now. And this has been a fantastic week, hasn't it? I hope everyone made a little bit of money on this move up. But I also think we need to take a breath. We need to take a beat. Now, overall, I think we go higher. In fact, in Hit and Run Candlesticks, we've talked about 700. Very, very possible. I still believe it. I don't see why not. Not necessarily this year, but 700 is what we're looking at. But like all charts, nothing just goes up and up and up. And so far, that's all we've done is go up. Well, pretty quick, we're going to have a little bit of a pullback. And you got to admit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, a couple gaps in there, we're probably wearing out our welcome for a little bit. Now, I'm not saying we're bearish at this point, but do watch for that pullback. And when we get the pullback, and then so something like this right here. So we get a little pullback, maybe a little bit of a test, and then the bulls start coming back in. Boy, there are going to be so many good charts out there. It's almost frightening. Looking very forward to it. And by the way, I don't necessarily think this is where the pullback is going to happen. We could pull all the way back to that 50% level right there. I'm just saying that, hey, we're getting a little bit overbought up here, okay? All right. So these lines up here are a combination of quadrant lines and fib lines. And I want to say that I love these on my charts. They work out so good as targets. For the SPY here, I've just taken this high, the most recent high over here, and then the low, and then it fills in quadrant lines and fib lines for me. And it's so incredible how important that is. It's like we've moved right up to this area of 684, 684 area. And look how we've been there in the past. Let me get my little thing here. There we go. Look at that candle right there, right there. Look at these candles. All those candles right in that area right there. So important. Look where we ended up closing. Let's see, this is Friday 3rd, whatever day that was, now that we've had a holiday. Let's see, Friday. I guess that'd be Wednesday maybe. Look at these. Look at those candles right there, stopping right there. Look at that important so important, 675 area. Just amazing, truly amazing. So anyway, that's something I look at on my chart. I've had some people ask about that. So just a little bit on it. So anyway, let's watch for a little bit of pullback. Let's get ready to rumble on this market. I think the bulls are back. Now, let's take a look at our VXX. You can see it's moving down, just wonderful. Let's take a look at our T2123. That is moving up very, very nice. 60-minute looks great. 3-bar chart is trying to come alive. We're not quite there on the daily, but that's okay. Let it keep working. As long as we have the hour intact, I'm pretty happy with that. Alrighty. Now let's take a look at some charts. And for now, I want to say thank you for everybody that's hung out with me for this first 5 minutes. I've got 11 charts. If you're interested, hang around. Let's talk about them, okay? All right, here we go. Take a look at BITO. I have made mention on our pre-market lives, which is 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. Everybody is welcome. It's free. I've made mention of Bitcoin. I'm becoming very interested in it, and I'm not going to claim that this is the bottom right here. I'm not sure that it's absolutely the bottom. It actually might slip a little bit more, but I sure am watching it. And I believe in following the trend. My trend is these red dots, which is what we call the trendicator. And when price is above it, they'll turn green, the trendicator. The white line is the 8 EMA, okay? So right now, we are currently in a downtrend. There's no question about it. Are we trying to form a bottom? We could be. Yep, we could be. Now, what I'm going to do is, let's come over here. I'm going to look at this high right there. So I'm going to take this high. There we go. And come down to these lows. So we could be forming a bottom. It is possible. I'm not prime time on it yet, but sure am watching it. So far, we have a little kind of a morning star signal that formed here, and we do have a breakout. We've rallied up. Probably we need to see a rest in here. Now, we could pop up a little bit more before that rest. And if that sets up, and then we get green here, then we can put a trend in there like that. Now what's going to happen is we're going to look at targets like right there. There will be a target. The 50-period moving average will be a target. And there's another target right up there about that 1850. So that's what we'll kind of watch for. And then we'll take it from there. The 50% retracement area is way up here above the 200-period moving average. So there's a whole lot of work this thing's got to do to get back in that $20 range. But we will keep our eye on it, and I will keep members, those that have the app downloaded, all members have access to it. I will certainly alert you when I start looking at some Bitcoin. All right, let's take a look at KDP. There's KDP. Rounded bottom breakout here, very nice. I'm going to put that 50% retracement there, right there, okay? We have a low, we have a high, higher low. This area right here, this area right there, again, looking at those quadrant lines and fib lines mixed in, that's the construction area for the bottom. And you can see we're trying to break out here. So we start to break out, then we're going to be looking at this area right there, 29, in that 29 area as a target. And then we've got the dotted deuce right through here. So just under $30. This is a common area. Once we get up to that dotted deuce, it's a modified 200-period moving average. Once we get up there, that's a common area for stocks to consolidate a little bit. Once we break out of it, then it is very common for us to move up to the 200-period moving average. So there's definitely some targets on this on the way up. KDP, beautiful rounded bottom breakout here. Take a look at Lulu. Look at Lulu. Now, Lulu's not a buy here, okay? It's not. But it is a stock that has set up very nice. It's very overbought right now. It's been up a whole bunch of days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want to count from here, there's 5, there's 6, 7, 8, if you want to count from the low here. This thing needs a pullback. There's no question about it. And, I think what I'm going to do is lower this a little bit. There we go. Yeah, there we go. So we are in that construction area right now. What I would like to see is a little consolidation. Those familiar with the 3-8 trap or the 8-17 trap, this will be a perfect scenario for this. Watch for that pullback, and then we'll look for those targets. 203, 204 maybe. Then we get into the 229 area, and then you've got the 200 period moving average with the 50% retracement right here, about 250. Look at that bottom this thing has put in. Very nice. Let's check out the 3-day chart on this. Look at that 3-day chart. Man, that really shows up that, oh yeah, let me look at the weekly real quick. Oh yeah, let's just hang with the weekly for a minute. That really shows this push to the, let's make this a little bigger. There we go. This push to the downside. Here we've come up to this high and then back to this downside. We start breaking out over that high, we've got ourselves a bullish W pattern, and that starts to set up that breakout of the bottom construction area, which sets us up for that next target up there. We'll call it 230, and then there is the 50% retracement right there around 250 with the 50 period moving average right there. All right. What was that one? Oh, Lulu. Let's look at KUVE. There we go. Whoops. KUVE. That's not it. KUVE. Huh. KVUE, maybe? Maybe that's it. There we go. I'll remember that. KVUE here. This is a rounded bottom breakout. If you've been at, I don't remember which day it was, but if you've been at our pre-market, 8:30 a.m. Eastern every day, remember, everyone's invited, okay? You can pick it up on YouTube. If you're logged into YouTube, it'll pop up and you can go right to it. That's the best place to grab it. But if you look at this KVUE, man, look how those lines there, quadrant and fib lines, look how those things have worked out. Look at that right there. Let's move this all the way across. Look at that. Boom, 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 boom. That's where we are right now. Look at where right there's one. Look what we gapped up through, and then we just bounced along the bottom of it. Very impressive, if you ask me. Very, very impressive. So, also on the weekly, here, let's get rid of those. Also on the weekly, we have a very, daily, I'm sorry, I said weekly, but that's because we're going to go look at the weekly. Let's do this, Take a look at this. There we go. We're down. We've created that bottom, and now we're starting to move up right there. So I love that chart pattern setup. Nice double bottom gap, right? When we're looking at a chart to trade, it's not all about the right now. It's not. If you like KVUE or any chart, what you want to do is monitor it. You want to manage the chart. You don't have to be in it to manage it. But you need it on a watch list. You need it somewhere, somehow, so you can be alerted, keep track of it. Because if you set up the trade plan like this right here, my trade plan is this. You've got the 50% retracement, which we're right here at that dotted deuce area, or the modified 200. So in that area, if I was in it, I'm not in it right now. These are charts that I'm not in. Then I'm going to look to take profits up here, because I just know, you know, assuming we get there, I just know we're going to consolidate. I've done this too long, and I've seen this set up way too many times. And then what I'm going to do is wait for the next entry in it, and then I'll trade up watching that area right there around that 1950, and then we'll watch that $20.50 area around the 50 period moving average. Again, I've just done this too long. But so what I would like to see right now, personally, you know, we talked about the SPY being a little bit overbought the first part of this video. I would love to see a pullback. I really would. That would make my day. And then stocks like KVUE, then they just very well may pull back, and that will give you a better opportunity to jump into this thing. And that's what I'm kind of looking for. So, you know, a pullback back to the buy area, and we'll just put, say something like that right there. That would be a buy area for me. So right there's a trade plan. Put that on your watch list, let it set up, wait for it, stalk it, hunt it, and when it falls into your trap, you own it, and then manage it from an ownership side. All right, take a look here. IOW, can't hardly read, IOV, I can't read my handwriting, A. There we go, IOVA. Look at that there, nice gap up. This is, it's not, well, actually it is. It is a rounded bottom breakout. We've got the 10%. Yeah, that is a rounded bottom breakout. Nice. $2.45 stock. That thing could be a big money maker. So here we've rallied up. Next, doggone it, thing keeps jumping. Next target to the upside, I would probably look at that 270, 275 area, and then the 50% retracement of the July highs to the current recent low, November lows. Right there, that 50% retracement, we're looking at 24, 25%, back to the 200, 11%. What a great trade. Yeah, I love that trade. We'll be talking about that one here in a few days for sure. All right, let's take a look at SLB. Put a little energy in here. Look at that. Nice pop the upside, nice pullback. We took out the 200 period moving average. Let's look at that weekly. Look at that weekly setting up. Beautiful, beautiful. Nice double bottom, nice consolidation in here. The target we're going to need to clear is clearly 39.18, 39.20, right in that area. And then the next target with using fib lines and the quadrant lines is going to be about that 43.25 area. You've got the dotted deuce here and the 200 period moving average before you get to that 50% retracement. We're just taking these highs and these lows, a nice rally back up toward that direction. Take a look at Twilio. I like what Twilio is doing. Look at that. Here, this is the weekly chart. You can actually see this in the daily too. There you go. Look how we've been forming this wedge pennant. Look at that pennant in there. Wedge pennant. And see, we've broken out. We've come back and tested. We're back above. So, man, I think this is looking good. Yeah, let's go look at that weekly. Yeah, look at that. Wow. Let's draw some lines on this. I didn't realize I didn't have lines there. I'm going to take from this high down. I don't always take from the highest high. I'm going to move this a little bit. No, maybe I should take it from the highest high. Well, you know, I am. No, I'm going to take it from there. Yeah, I'm going to take it from this area right here, this high. The July, wow, that goes way back there, doesn't it? July 21 high. I might end up rethinking that. Let's go back to the daily here. That's pretty crazy, isn't it? Actually, it's not all that crazy. Okay, yeah, it's not all that crazy. Here's the 50% retracement. Man, that's way up there, isn't it? 73%. Check out that bottom. We're popped up. There's our wedge that we're in right here. I think we're going to have to add other targets in there. We can't just use those trend lines. And there's one right there. Let's get through this high. So we're clearly going to have to get through 135.40. Next target up will be to revisit those highs there on the left around 150, 151. And then we'll see if we can get to that 183. That's a stretch. No doubt about it. That's a stretch. But look at this chart. It's been working out. Looks pretty good. We'll keep our eyes on that one. How about some Apple? Okay, last week I was in Apple and I closed my Apple, took the profits on it, and sorry, my hand's going to sleep, holding my mouse. I was in Apple, closed it out, took those profits. I am looking to get back in it. It's setting up very nice right here. Now, I guess I do kind of regret getting out of it, but hey, that's trading. It's the way it is. Looking to get back in that. The 50% retracement, based on the way I have my lines drawn, is up here about that 280, 281 area, and then we have a target of 284.50 up here. So that's kind of what I'm looking for now. It is in that 3A trap. It just might be a buy right now. We'll check it out this coming week. Now, remember, if the market does slide a little bit, there's a very good chance that Apple slides a little bit. Now, if you like this chart where it is, if it slides down a little, I look at that as a gift. That is a gift for me because now I can buy it lower. I still think it's going up here. Okay, so let's keep that eye on that. Now for those that maybe Apple's too expensive, check out AAPU. Check out AAPU. That's only $38 right now. Watch for that pullback. We might get a nice entry for this. And this is the single stock ETF for Apple. Here's the targets. Let's see, whoops, you know what? I'm going to redraw those because that's an old. Let's go over here. Take that high. Go to that low. There we go. If you take a look, this is drawn a little bit different than the one I drew on Apple itself, but you can see how that's. You know what? I'll draw the same way I did Apple. So what we're going to do is take a different tool, but it has the same quadrant lines and same fib lines, and it's just a different tool. And we're going to go up to these highs right here, and then take this little tail, come up to these lows. And there we go. So I'll be looking at this right here. There's the 50% retracement, and there's the next move to the upside, and that's the 61.8 fib line. And then, of course, we have the 87.5, and then the 100 line, and then so on that. So keep your eyes on APAU and or Apple, and we'll talk about that more. Take a look at XLE. XLE. That's putting in a nice little wedge right here. I'm looking for this to get back up to 87.75, 88. Retest those highs. Keep your eyes on XLE. It's very buyable in here. Some folks are going to wait till it breaks out. Clearly, some traders are not waiting for that. But we will definitely keep our eyes there because that just might help the old energy sector, and that would... that's a good moneymaker right there. Here's one. I have a hard time trading anything called donut. In the past, some people here might even heard me say, "How in the world do you sell enough donuts to be even on the stock market? That's insane." There's got to be a lot of people eating donuts, and it is what it is. So. Don't let your feelings get the best of you. Follow the charts, follow the trend, follow price action, okay? And that's what we've got here. This is working out really nice. I wish I was in it. I did peek at it a bit ago, but like I said, I never bought it. This is looking pretty good. We're about to break out of the construction area. Let me get this line drawn right here. And that would be the 50% retracement right in there. So we're about to break out of that construction bottom here at 441. That puts the next target up about 5.25, 5.30. And then after that, we're into that $6 range up there. That's about 30%, 40%. Let's say from 435 up there, that's 38%. You might get 40 out of it. But keep your eyes on it, on Donut. Like I say, I don't know. There's some stocks, I don't understand how I just don't understand how they're even on the stock market. I have a hard time wrapping my head around donuts, but it is what it is. So the last one I have, and I really want to say thank you very much for those that hung out to the end. Do me a favor, if you hung out to the end, leave me a note below you hung out to the end, okay? I appreciate that. And SLB, let's take a look at SLB. SLB here, forming a nice little pattern off the 50-period moving average. It's really a simple pattern, actually. We're up, we're low. We started from the low, we went to a high, and now we've pulled back. Perfect, right? And now what we're looking for is that next move up, aren't we? This is what I call my thrust, that's my rest, and that's my money. So thrust, rest, money. Okay, thrust, rest, money. Also, look at that sideways. Look at the weekly. Look how we've moved sideways here. Absolutely gorgeous. We get through that 50-period moving average area. I mean, can you visualize how this thing could run right up to that 50% retracement? See, that's what I try to do. I try to visualize where it may go, where it may head, and then along the way, I take profits. As an example, we reach 41, 42, excuse me, 41, 42 if I'm in it. That's 15%. Darn right I'm going to take profits. That's how the Road to Wealth account has tripled, by taking profits from good, solid setups, trading a good trending market. That's the recipe. So, yeah, there's the daily. Get through here, and right there, that's a nice little trade, 7.5%, and then up to that 43 for about 19%, and then you've got that 50% area. Again, thank you very much for watching the video. Remember, if you made it to the end, do me a favor, okay? Do me a favor. Do me a favor. It might be worth your time. Let me just say that, okay? Put down in the bottom of the YouTube video that you made it to the end. I appreciate that. Remember our Black Friday specials, and remember to join us Monday through Friday at 8:30 a.m. for the charts and targets with Hit and Run Candlesticks and myself. Pre-market, 8:30 a.m. Did I say that? Eastern time. The best way to get through it is at YouTube, okay? We broadcast it on Facebook and X, but sometimes they're about a little slow with a connection. But on YouTube, it works pretty darn fast. So check us out, subscribe, click that bell. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Thank you.